Why did I think this was a good idea? I'm clearly delirious. My God. I'm gonna attempt to do something that is equally exciting and terrifying. I will be attempting to read 200 pages every single day for a whole week. I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't know why I just wake up one day and I make a decision like this. I've never really tracked how many pages I read in a single day, but it'll be interesting to see how much of a struggle it'll be to read 200 pages a day, because I know it will be a struggle. I'm in the middle of my reread of Clockwork Princess. I am also reading a nonfiction, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. This is a memoir. Plans for today is to finish this because this is quite a short book. I'm currently on page 39 of this book and there are 228 pages. So that's 190 pages exactly, which means that I only need to read 10 pages of another book. This is a memoir of this neurosurgeon who was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer on the last year of his neurosurgery residency. He sadly passed away just a little bit after his diagnosis. This book was kind of his last hurrah, if you will. He talks about how books and literature is one of his passions, and if he wasn't a doctor, he said that he would have been an author. He wrote this book while he was sick. Unfortunately, he was not able to see it be published, so I'm prepared for this to be a heavier read. It's 2:50 p.m. on a Wednesday. I'm starting a little bit late. I need to stop talking and actually get to reading because it's almost 3 p.m. It's 11:07 p.m. I just got home. I've only read 50 pages. I have 150 pages to go. I've been awake since 5 a.m. I'm really sleepy. I'm debating on whether I should shower first or if I should read a little bit more, because I'm afraid that if I shower, I'm gonna end up falling asleep. This is the first day and I'm already struggling. Why did I think this was a good idea? Let's quickly talk about yesterday's challenge and how it went. I ended up finishing When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. I thought this book was up to page 228, but it turns out that that was just the acknowledgements and the actual book ended on page 225. So that meant that I read 186 pages of this yesterday. I had to read at least 14 more pages of another book, which I picked Clockwork Princess. I started reading on page 144, ended on page 161. Let's just call it 17 pages because it was like half of 161. So in total, that brings me to 203 pages read yesterday. But anyways, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. This book was so heartbreaking. His wife wrote the epilogue and it made me absolutely sob. The first half of this book was basically him talking about how he ended up going after medicine as a career. He talks about a lot of the lessons that he learned along the way, and one of the biggest things he always wanted to confront was death. This was a theme that he noticed pretty early on in his career, that he was going to have to deal with death a lot, because obviously when you work in the field of medicine, when your entire job is to treat very sick people, you are inevitably going to be dealing with a lot of death. This is quite a philosophical book. It wasn't the most emotional memoir, at least not from his point of view. It had a very stoic tone to it and almost this clinical quality to his writing, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I honestly mean that in the best way possible. I think that he was able to express his emotions and to process a lot of this grief basically that he was going through for a life that he planned for. He was about to get there. He was the heir apparent to a position that he really, really wanted until he got sick. He was mourning the person that he was. He was mourning the person that he wanted to be. He was basically grieving himself while he was still alive. He was able to put that into words that made a lot of sense for somebody like me. The way that he wrote this just really, really resonated with me. This was such a poignant book. I honestly think that this is a book that everybody could learn something from. There's a lot of life lessons that he teaches you throughout the book. He talks about the things that really matter in life and in death as well, because even in death, he was still taking care of the people that he loved. If you think you want to be in the medical field at all, whether it's a surgeon, an internist, a physical therapist, a nurse, whatever it may be, I think there's a lot for you to really, really learn from this book. I think it's especially relevant for people who are pursuing medicine, specifically people who think they want to specialize in something as demanding as surgery. I think he gives a lot of good advice for that. So yeah, I would highly recommend this. I'm not going to rate it because it is a memoir. I don't like to rate memoirs because honestly, I'm just not objective enough to be able to separate the story from the prose. I'm not capable of being that objective. Obviously, I have my own biases, and I feel like it's not really fair for me to rate his life. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then as far as Clockwork Princess goes, this is a reread for me. This is actually my first time rereading this book since I first read it in middle school. If you're not familiar with the Infernal Devices trilogy, it is part of the Shadowhunters world by Cassandra Clare. I have reread the first two books in this trilogy at least 5 times each. This is one of my favorite series within the Shadowhunter world. I love this trilogy so much. I love these characters so much, but I've never been able to reread this last book because I still remember to this day how much pain this book put me through. It was like a good kind of pain, if you know what I mean, like, but it was still painful, and I was never really ready to face that again. But I figured that it is finally time for me to dive back into the story and to revisit this bittersweet ending, because I still have not read the Last Hours trilogy and I wanted to reread the series before I get into that. So I'm having a good time so far with my reread of this. Things are still good right now. Yeah, there's that. That's what happened last night. I ended up sleeping very, very late. That was a struggle. I think this is gonna be what the biggest problem is for this challenge. I'm probably gonna be scrambling to finish my 200 pages at the end of the day because I just never have enough time to do a lot of reading early on during the day. I have quite busy mornings usually, so I don't have the time to read a lot in the mornings. I haven't even started my reading today. It's already 1:50, so. Hey everyone, guess what time it is? It's 12:06 a.m. I've only read up to page 246 of Clockwork Princess and I started reading up page 161, so that means I've only read 85 pages today. I still have 115 pages left to read. This is what I meant when I say that I feel like I'm gonna be scrambling. We're only on day 2 and we're struggling. Flashback to my mistakes, my rebounds, my earthquakes. Just in time, but I work upon your story. My handshake, you can explain. Okay, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Oh my god. I almost just put my tripod through the drywall. I'm gonna read physically. Maybe it'll help me read faster on a paperback. I don't know. Ooh, that looked terrifying. Just wanted to do a little quick update. I finished my 200 pages. I read up to page 379 of Clockwork Princess, which meant that I read, I don't know exactly how many pages. I can't do math right now. I'm too tired. But it's over 200 pages. Day 2 was a success. It was a struggle there for a minute. I thought I was not gonna make it. I think it's really helping that this is a reread and it's a world that I'm so familiar with. I think I have less than 200 pages left of this book, which meant that I'm probably gonna finish it tomorrow. I can hear the coyotes outside. Oh my god. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. That is the loudest I've heard them. There's a coyote den like really close by, so they're still screaming. Coyotes are actually not a pack animal. I learned that recently. They usually hunt in pairs or like small family groups. And they do like a roll call. Why am I telling you this? Nobody cares. I'm clearly delirious. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna talk to you guys tomorrow. Hello everyone. It's Saturday and I know what you're thinking. Wait, that last clip said Thursday, so it's supposed to be Friday, and you would be correct. But yesterday was Friday, and I only read 11 pages yesterday. I am sorry, okay? Let me explain myself. Let me redeem myself a little bit. From 5:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the morning, I was out. It wasn't planned, but I ended up going out with some people. And you know what? I'm in med school. I rarely ever have time to see people and to hang out with my friends. So I said yes yesterday because I had some time and I did not expect to stay out that late. But yeah, got carried away, ended up staying out until 3. And obviously when I got home, I was not gonna read. I just decided to take an L for yesterday. I figured that I'm gonna try to redeem myself today. I will read 200 pages plus the 189 pages that I didn't read yesterday, so I'm gonna be reading a total of 389 pages today. Fingers crossed. We're still gonna be reading the 200 pages a day technically, just not on the day. You know, life happens, things come up. With that being said, I'm still gonna be continuing reading Clockwork Princess. I'm definitely gonna be finishing that. I don't know how many pages I have left, but that's definitely not gonna be enough. So we'll be starting a new book later. Fingers crossed I don't make any more bad I mean, it wasn't a bad decision, okay? Like I don't regret going out yesterday, but I do regret not being able to read 300 pages or 200 pages. I don't know why I did that. It's Sunday. Let's have a quick chat. Remember how I was supposed to read 389 pages yesterday? Well, that didn't happen. I only ended up reading the rest of Clockwork Princess. I finished it, and when I calculated the total, it was 177 pages. I'm short 212 pages. I just have trouble reading a lot during the weekends. You would think that it would be the opposite, but I just have a lot more distractions on the weekends, like things are happening, so I just end up doing other things that is not reading. It also doesn't help that I thought I remembered how painful this book was, but no, I don't. I mean, I remember the pain that it caused me, but until I was going through it again and I was reading the ending of this book again, I think I forgot the magnitude of the pain that this book put me through. So after I finished it, I just had to like take a second. I had to take a step back and not read anything else. So that's my excuse. Technically, I've already failed, but you know what? I'm gonna try to redeem it today. I'm gonna try to read the 200 pages that I have to read today and then the extra 212 from yesterday. So I'm gonna attempt to read 412 pages today. I don't know. Okay, it's Sunday. I don't think I have any plans other than one thing, which should not take super long. So I think I'm going to be able to do this. Actually, you know what? I will do this. I have chosen a book that I think would be appropriate. From what I've heard about this book, it shouldn't be too difficult to get invested in it. At least I'm hoping I end up loving it. This is a book that I've literally had pre-ordered since February of this year before having even heard anything about it. And since its release, people have gone absolutely crazy over this book to the point that it is sold out everywhere. And that is forthwith. Dust jacket off. I'm so excited. I get it. I get the fucking hype. And not that I ever doubted you guys, not that I ever doubted this book, but I want a dragon so badly. Why aren't dragons real? Actually, you know what? I'd probably get dropped. I'm on page 178, so I still have long ways to go at this point, but I made the right choice in picking this book because honestly, I haven't wanted to put it down. I didn't even want to go take my dog for a walk, and I look forward to my walks with my dog, okay? But I didn't want to put this book down. I just want to say how much is fucking pissing me off right now. I understand it's because he's concerned for her or whatever, but it's so annoying. She's done this much and he still has zero faith in her. Come on, have a little faith. But also, like, we just found out, I have a feeling that this information that we just found out is gonna have something to do with the romance, and I'm gonna cry. Remember what I said about annoying the shit out of me? Oh my god, I don't like him. I don't like him. Are we supposed to like him? Because I really don't like him. I don't know. I just... yeah. That's not it for me. Yeah, no. So I got up to page 423. That means I have completed my 412 pages that I had to read for today. Thank God, because I'm so tired. It's really, really late. I kind of stopped at like a pretty crazy chapter. Like, it seems like something crazy is about to happen, and as much as I want to continue reading right now, I am really, really tired, and I'm just gonna save the rest of this book for tomorrow. Like, I'm almost done with it. It was a great choice for me to pick this book because I honestly I didn't really have that hard of a time reading the pages that I had to read for today, just because I was so engrossed in this book. I love them so much. I love Zayden. That's all I have to say for now. I am so tired. I need to get to bed. It's happy Monday. It is the 6th day of this challenge. I'm hoping that today goes a little bit better than these last 2 days. I was able to catch up yesterday, which was good. So I'm hoping that I don't fall back behind today. I am gonna do my very, very best to complete my 200 pages, which includes the last 75 pages left of this book. So after I finish Fourth Wing, I'm gonna have to start another book and read 125 pages from that at least. Let's talk about Fourth Wing really quickly. Listen, I think I've already expressed how much I'm enjoying this book. I am having such a good time. I don't think I've ever been this obsessed with dragons before. I love the relationship between the dragons and the writers. I think it's so freaking cute. It reminds me of, you know, like those people who like work at the zoo or like at a sanctuary or a rescue or something, and then they have a really, really cool, interesting relationship with lions or bears. Like, that's what it reminds me of. The relationship between these like ginormous building sized dragons with their like tiny little humans. And it's also really interesting to watch like the relationships between the dragons themselves. They have their own like thing, you know what I mean? Like, they have their own little system. Humans think that they're in control, when in reality the dragons are the ones that are on top of the food chain. I'm loving the romance between Zayden and Violet. I am on the home stretch of this book. I predict that these last 75 pages are gonna be a breeze, so I'm not worried about this, but I am kind of worried about the 125 pages that I have left after reading this. I can already feel the book hangover from this book setting in. I'm like contemplating if I should read the 125 pages first from another book before I finish this, but at the same time I'm still gonna have to read 200 pages tomorrow anyway, and is that really gonna help? You know what I mean? So we'll see what I end up doing, but I think I might just finish this. I'm already dreading finishing this book and I'm not even done with it yet. This is usually how I am with books that I'm really, really enjoying. When I'm loving a book so much, I just want to savor it, and I want to spend as much time as I possibly can reading the book so I can just be in the story for as long as I can, which is why it takes me so long to read the Magnolia Parks books. It's not because they're like complicated books that like take so much brain power to read. I just like reading them slowly, and as nice as it is to read this book for this challenge because it has helped me get through over 400 pages yesterday, I am kind of sad that I chose to read this book during this challenge, because that also means that I have to be done with it so quickly. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. I feel like I'm just stalling. finished Fourth Wing, and I'm not gonna rate this right now just because I think I need to let the book settle in before I give any rating, so I'll give you the rating at the very end of the video. But I just want to say that the ending of this book reminds me of another very popular fantasy slash dystopian series that I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's kind of a spoiler if you've read that book. And no, it's not Divergent, because I know a lot of people like to compare this to Divergent. I haven't read Divergent, but I have seen the movies. I kind of get the Divergent part. Xaden is definitely giving 4 energy and like the whole training thing. Like, I get it. I get the Divergent aspect of it, but like the very, 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 very end, as in like the last sentence of this book, reminds me so much of that one other series. There's another thing that happens towards the end here that I was kind of spoiled for it because, listen, you book talk girlies, I love you book talk girlies, but some of y'all do not understand the concept of a spoiler warning. It's kind of like a big spoiler that I didn't even know at the time was a big spoiler. I basically saw this fan art that depicts a scene that happens in this book, and when I saw it, I was like, yeah, obviously that's gonna happen, because duh. But then as the scene was coming up, I started to realize how big of a spoiler it was. Also, how much more up that scene actually was. The fan art was like devastating. Reading about it makes it even worse. Yeah, I love this freaking book. If I'm gonna be critical about this, let me just put my little critical hat on for a second. If you're like a seasoned fantasy reader and you've read a lot of adult fantasies, and then you go into this book expecting the same level of world building and politics and plots that very complicated and intricate adult fantasies have, you're gonna be disappointed. Because although this is an adult fantasy, I would say it reads a lot like a YA, but like with adult elements. Technically in the new adult category, and if I'm gonna be honest with you, the storyline, the plotline, the world building, a lot of it is very generic. I'm not gonna lie. It's very tropey. There's quite a bit of cliches, and there was never really a point in this book when I was like, oh my god, I never saw that coming, because the way that the foreshadowing was done was quite obvious. But with that being said, just because it is quite, I don't want to say basic, but just because like the actual structure of the plot and the world building itself was basic, it doesn't mean that this book wasn't good. It doesn't mean that this book wasn't any less entertaining. I think the magic in this book is truly how Rebecca Yarros was able to write the characters. There were some moments in this that were, if I were to read it normally, it would have come off as very info dumpy and quite annoying to read, but she found a really interesting way to info dump on us in a way that it wasn't annoying. You know what I mean? Honestly, I understand the hype. I understand why people are obsessed with this book, because I'm also obsessed with this book. I honestly cannot wait for the next book. I already have it pre-ordered. Girlies, pre-order the next book, because I don't want you guys to experience whatever other people experience trying to find this book. Those are my thoughts on this book. Now we still have 125 pages of reading left, and I honestly don't know what book I'm gonna pick up. I'm still definitely in the fantasy mood, but I feel like it would be a mistake, or it would be a disservice to the fantasy book that I pick up next to pick it up now. So I think I might just go for a contemporary, just so I can separate myself a little bit from this story. Actually, before I stop talking about this book, from the very beginning of this book, the way that Violet was describing herself, the way that her bones break so easily, the way they dislocate so easily, and the way that she's so fragile, I wondered if she had EDS, because like the way, or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, for those of you guys who are not familiar with EDS, and it affects your joints, your bones, your skin, your ligaments. They get like really hypermobile joints, hyper flexibility, but that also means that their joints tend to be very unstable and their bones are quite brittle. The way that she was describing herself, I was like, it sounds like she has EDS. I don't know. It was never like explicitly said in this book that she had EDS, and I looked it up just to see if I like, maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. The author actually has EDS. So I think Violet has EDS, which is kind of really cool to read about, because first of all, EDS is quite a rare disorder, so you don't see like that representation in books often, especially not in a fantasy book. So I think it's really cool that we have EDS representation in this book. There's a random man parked on my driveway and I'm kind of freaked out. I'm home alone, so I kind of don't want to go outside, but I'm a little bit freaked out. Who are you? Why are you on my driveway? Question mark. Look at this guy. He is stressed. Who is it, Bubba? Huh? There's a man and my dog's outside are kind of freaking out. I don't know what to do. Okay, maybe I should go check it out. Actually, I don't know. I'm kind of scared. Should I be worried that there's this man? He's literally just there. Like, he parked his car and he's leaning on his van. I should probably call somebody. I can't concentrate until this man leaves. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm scared. Listen, bitches. It's 3:31 in the morning and I still have a little bit over 50 pages left to go on my book to complete my 200 pages. But I did pick Daisy Hates the Great Undoing for my next book. I already started this book. When I picked it up, I was on page 32. I have to read up to page 157 in order to complete my 200 pages for the day. Oh my god, I can't. I feel like I can't form sentences anymore. I'm on page 100, so I have exactly 57 pages left. So far, I am really enjoying this book. I love Julian Hates. He's still my favorite character in this entire universe, and I am loving him even more in this. I am still down bad for Julian Hates, and I actually love Tiller. Apparently people don't like Tiller. Why don't you like Tiller? Daisy is growing on me, but she still does some things that kind of like rub me the wrong way. She just acts like a child a lot of times, and I mean like a bratty child. In the first Daisy Hates book, she would throw these temper tantrums that a toddler would throw, and she like did it again in this book, and it was just kind of, girl, get it together. You are in medical school. Why are you acting like this? I don't know. Maybe Julian brings it out of her because, you know, he's technically her father. Also, I've always said that Daisy Hates books always remind me of the Fast and the Furious movies. And guess what? It's canon. Julian was talking about like these movies that remind him of his life, and one of them was Fast and the Furious. And the way that he talked about Fast and the Furious specifically, Julian is Dominic Toretto, but not Vin Diesel. Daisy is Mia. Tiller, obviously Brian O'Connor. It's July 4th. Happy July 4th to all my Americans out there, to anybody who celebrates. It's already 2:30 p.m. I was not able to finish the 57 pages that I had left yesterday or this morning for no reason other than I was so damn tired that I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. I decided to put it down at page 123. I was missing 34 pages yesterday. I read a total of 166 pages. Today is going to be the last day of this challenge, which means that I will have to complete the 234 pages that I'm going to have to read today to make up for yesterday in order for this thing to even be considered slightly successful, even if I've kind of technically already failed a couple of days ago, because I won't have tomorrow to make it up. But I'm going to be going out later, so that means I'm going to have to read as much as I can before I go. I don't know what time I'm going to be getting home, and I don't know if I'm even going to have time to read when I get home. So it's crunch time. Let's get some coffee. Cheers. Almost 5 o'clock. I have less than an hour before I have to go, so I have to start getting ready. But I only made it up to page 195 of this book, and I have to get to page 357 today, which means that I have over 160 pages left for when I come back. And again, I don't know what time I'm gonna be coming home, so hopefully I can get this done when I get back. No, I will. I'm gonna finish this when I get home. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start getting ready. I still have to do my makeup. I don't even know. I don't know what to do with my hair. I don't even know what the f I'm gonna wear. So. Oh my god, run! Just kidding. It has more. It's like Minions. I know. That's Star Wars. It's actually the next day. It's now July 5th. I came home like relatively early yesterday after a little 4th of July celebration. So I totally thought that I had all the time to finish the rest of the pages that I had to read for yesterday. But I was so exhausted when I got home that I ended up taking a nap, and that nap ended up being just me sleeping all through the night and then waking up this morning. So I even put an alarm on my phone. Yeah, I just turned it off and I was like, yeah, I'm sleeping. I can't do this. I ended up reading up to page 206 and I had to read up to page, I think 357, which means that I had 151 pages left. I think I must have read like, it was just a little bit over 100 pages. I don't know. I'm gonna put it on the screen. But either way, this is a big L for me. It's fine. I technically have already lost this challenge 3 days ago or 4 days ago, whenever it was that I first didn't finish my 200 pages. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed in myself that I was not able to do this because I totally had the time. It was just time management has been really difficult. It's always really difficult during the summertime just because there's so many things going on. I like doing things in the summer, you know, like going out, and I like being out and about. Anyways, I'm just making excuses at this point. This challenge has defeated me and I'm gonna accept the defeat at this moment, but I will be doing this challenge again, and next time I'm gonna get it right. Mark my words, I really want to get this right next time. I just need to pick a better week to do it next time. I don't know why I decided to choose it on the week where the last day was gonna fall on the 4th of July. Clearly a very terrible mistake. I was able to finish 3 incredible books this week and got almost halfway through another book that I'm really enjoying. So quickly, let's just kind of do a recap of all the books that I read. When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. This was a fantastic read. I think everybody could really take away a lesson from this book, so highly recommend it. And then moving on to a reread that I did of Clockwork Princess. This is the final book in the Infernal Devices series. I ended up giving this book a 4.5 stars. I think this book has always been a 4.5 for me. The second book of the series is my favorite. That one's a 5 out of 5 stars. And I love this book. I think it was a great conclusion. It was a great ending to the story of these characters. It was a lot more painful than I remember it being. I thought I fully remembered how painful it was, but it turns out that I do not. And then, of course, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I feel like I've talked about this book enough. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed all of the characters. I enjoyed reading from Violet's perspective, although I will say I feel like this book could have really benefited from multiple point of views. I think fantasy, especially with a large cast of characters, really needs multiple point of views, and that's kind of like what was like the missing link for me in this one. But either way, I still really enjoyed it. I will reiterate that if you are a very seasoned high fantasy reader and you are expecting the same level of high fantasy world building and plot in this book, you are probably going to be disappointed. Best way that I can call this is kind of like a blockbuster film. You know, it didn't really do anything original. She didn't reinvent the wheel per se, but I totally understand where the hype is coming from. Very enjoyable, very easy to read as well. But yeah, I gave this a 4.5 stars. Those are all the books that I finished, and obviously I'm still in the middle of Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. Too early to tell, so I can't predict a rating on this one yet. There you go. These are all of the books that I read this week while attempting to read 200 pages a day every single day, which obviously I failed. It's fine because the amazing books that I picked up really made up for it. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see me reattempt this and actually do it properly next time, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys have been reading lately. That's gonna be it for me today. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Bye.